record on this computer.
Okay, I'll start to share my screen, Zach.
Okay, you start to share your screen. Okay, started the recording. Okay,
Okay.
Mimi, I leave it to you. I have already introduced you. In fact, everybody came because they want to hear from you. Okay, like what I say, Billy and myself, we are here to do the moderation. Okay, in between, maybe if Billy, if you have got anything, you unmute yourself, just ask him. So during this training, okay, Billy can talk, Zach can talk, can talk. Whoever wants
Billy.
to ask question, you put inside your chat group. Okay, Billy. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, bro.
Billy, give chance, Billy. Okay. Anyway, good afternoon, everybody. So I won't be able to see the chat, so I'm actually focusing on my presentation.
Yeah, we will see.
So I'll rely on Zach, on Billy to help me consolidate the questions. Okay, I think I'll make it quick. So can I have a show of hands? Just give me a thumbs up on the screen if you can hear me loud and clear. Before I start. Can Okay, so before I go into the proper sharing, I just a little bit, just 2 slides or 1 slides about myself, okay, and my achievements before I go into the actual sharing. For those, I think recently there was a lot of people that joined Z1 divisions. Probably they are not sure who am I, or they probably do not know where, before being a real estate agent, what was I doing. So I'm going to share a little bit about myself. So just a quick one. So actually, previously before this, I was working mainly in DBS Bank, although as a project manager for 17 years. So I was actually PMP certified. If you do not know what is PMP certified, it's actually project management professional. So to run IT projects for the bank. So those projects like Payla, M-banking, mobile banking, internet banking, all these are done. I'm actually the PM behind it. More than 8 years ago. Okay, so I passed my RES in actually 2015, and I joined the real estate in 2017. Okay. So the next slide is actually a consolidated list, focusing on the recent 2 years of achievements that I have, and the contributions that probably I've made back to the group, and also to ERA as a facilitator. Okay, so after this, here's the deal. So this is going to be an informal sharing session. So I will try to be as specific as possible on how and what I did, which resulted in a successful closure. So the main focus is actually mostly going to be on new launches, which I closed. Okay, so during this session, feel free to capture snippets of the presentation. And probably after the whole session, you can share it on social media and tag me, Zach, Billy also. Okay, to let us know which of the sharings which I shared has benefited or impacted you. Okay, without further ado, I think this is the key questions. I think Zach did give you all a sneak preview what I closed for the past 90 days, but perhaps you all do not know exactly what was the percentage. So I did went into IERA and do a screenshot of the pie chart. If you know about your own ERA, we have a screenshot of pie charts to show you exactly what I did, what was closed for the last 3 months or so, 90 days. So this is actually the percentage that I closed. So if you take note, actually, you see resales means resale, the green color one. So actually, to be frank, I think most of the top achiever, in fact, previously Marcus also have shared during the monthly meeting that most of the achievers actually focuses on projects. That's where the high commission is. So myself was no difference. So I take a look at my own statistics, and 89% of the $250,000 was actually on new launches itself. Okay, so far, okay. So I'm going to go on to the next one. So I think this is a lot of people wanted to know what are the things that I was done right. So doing these slides were actually not easy. I actually have to go through exactly how I communicate with customers, what did I do, and document it down in terms of case scenarios for you guys to share. So it's going to be very, very specific. Okay, so it's not going to be like concepts or whatever. So I'm going to share it raw, exactly what I did with 3 of the cases when I closed. So the first case was actually a Jetscape. Okay, so 4 key questions which I actually labeled down for sharing purpose. So a lot of people want to know, hey, where did the lead came from? Actually, for this first case of a Jetscape, the lead actually came to view my exclusive resale listing. Okay, so 2 of them actually came to view my exclusive resale listing. So the key thing is how I'm going to share with you how actually I connect with this particular buyer lead that came to me. So take note of the things that I'm going to share after this, which is I always make an effort to reserve 30 minutes for direct buyers immediately after the viewing because they are direct. So it's very important to gather things like gather feedback from them about the listing that they view. Try to figure out whether the interest level of whether they are interested in getting a resale, because ultimately you have your what you call it, you have your protect your interest of your resale listing also. But if you actually sense that they are actually not going to buy or not interested in the resale listing, that's where you can go and understand why they are buying, share with them the process of buying, build as much rapport as possible during the 30 minutes. Okay, I think that's what make the difference for this particular case listing. I mean, this particular case on Jetscape. So I always go with 2 new launches near the resale units that I'm marketing, so that there is a topic for me to build rapport with the buyers, because I will always ask them this question. If I sense that they are not be interested or not interested, why are they not considering new launches? So if I ask this question, I must know what are the new launches nearby the existing resale listings that I'm marketing, you see. So this is very important. When I say be ready with 2 new launches, it's not about only knowing the projects, probably the next level details. Okay, like what are the key selling points of these new launches that is beside you, and how you're going to share with them the details, whether the price range. You do not need to know the exact price, but probably the range of prices and in terms of PSF that the new launches that are nearby this resale. Okay, and the takeaway is actually always remember, try your best during the 30 minutes to always fix a follow-up, because once you let them go without fixing a follow-up, the chances of you getting another follow-up appointment is not as high anymore, because it's very difficult, because it's ultimately still a cold lead. So you have to do whatever you can during these 30 minutes.
What is the follow-up question that you need to ask your customer?
Sorry, Zach, I can't hear you again.
Sorry, Jimmy, what is the follow-up question that you ask the customer?
Okay, mostly after sharing with them is probably, I will not do a calculation during the 30 minutes because it's probably impossible. So calculation is something that I will want to follow up with them and meet them in person again, probably at their existing current property. So that this is the way I want to make them sort of be more comfortable with me, so that I can sit down with them. So this is one of the things that I will do, financial calculation follow-up, to check with them the affordability.
If I understand you correctly, that means after the meeting, you do your 30-minute sharing, then you will ask them when is the next better time for me to meet you again.
Yeah, it's breaking up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, is after the 30 minutes of sharing, then you will ask them to fix a time, get their commitment, so that you can do a financial planning with them. Is that what you're?
Correct. Because they may think they are right. So probably I just want to make this, give them an opportunity to say, I just want to reconfirm my sharing, I mean my calculation with you, to see whether what you understand is correct or not.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so once you let them go, you got to, because you detected that they are actually interested and they are considering, right? How are you going to engage them daily and keep them warm? So one suggestion I put out here is, actually there's a lot of things in our own iERA app and ERA Pro app. Okay, my favorites are those 3 that's listed there. Okay, property calculators and analytics. So how I engage them is I actually, especially the calculators, is the very first way to break the rapport, because you send them and you share them the breakdown of the project schedules and the TDSR, everything, right? So it's actually quite impressive for most of the buyers, unless those savvy ones. So they will actually find that, hey, this property agent actually know quite a fair bit, but actually all these are done actually seamlessly with our property calculators. So when they start to ask you, how about project A, how about project B, that's where project web comes in. So for those who are not aware, actually project web is very good. Nowadays, recently just came out with custom domains, even easier. You can actually use your own domain like Jimipo, like for example, parkcolonial.jimipo.com. Wow, straight away, the whole Park Colonial project is actually being sent to them and they can see the floor plans. And of course, analytics is also quite good. Like you can show them what are the recent trends of a particular project, even for resale.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next point, I think this one needs some explanation. Okay, I always look for opportunities to up my own authority and trust level. So what do I mean by this? Okay, example, if I detected that they are not interested in my resale already, okay, it's more or less zero chance already. They're not going to buy, they don't like it. So I will take this opportunity to tell my client actually what they view might not be suitable for them. So what I mean by that is, so that, for example, this particular case, my exclusive resale was actually a cluster terrace. So I actually took an opportunity, I detected that they are not interested in buying this terrace. So I actually tell them that actually there is a risk when you buy cluster houses. Okay, so you can actually Google this from the internet. Now, what are the risks of buying cluster houses? And there's 99, there's the risk, it's a resale old property. And cluster houses are actually a niche market for buyers, all this. So actually, it's not about it's not about the cluster houses. It's actually about you telling somebody not to buy something that you're marketing, you see. So that actually up your authority and trust level to the buyers. So they will actually tend to trust you more. Okay, the second point I was illustrating below is, for example, for this particular case, the customer actually proposed a few projects that they are interested. Example, project A and project B. So you got to take a bet. I took a bet and say that, for example, I sense that they are more interested in project B. But they are also considering project A as a comparison, project C as a comparison. Okay, I go ahead and tell them, actually, if you want to hear out my recommendation, if you buy project A or C, I actually earn more commission. But I'm still going to recommend you project B. I hope you guys understand what I mean this point. I can't be very clear. So it's actually upping your trust level. So you are actually telling a customer you're not going in for the money. You're actually going for what's that, based on their needs and what that suits them. So you wanted to target and quickly fix the trust level and up your trust level to as high as possible. So this is quite a common technique that I use. I always have customers tell me a few projects. Then I will always tell them the project they don't like, always higher commission. So you got to take a bet. You take a bet that they don't know the commission scheme, which you can detect along the way when you talk to them that they are likely not to know the commission. You take a bet. I leave it to you guys. So this is the method that I always use to up my own trust level and authority.
Okay, Jimmy.
Yeah, Billy got a question.
All right. Also going back to the follow-up, because I think a lot of us are also into trying to swing out buyers from our resale listing. But the follow-up part is always the tricky part, because when the buyer left a couple of days later, the answers are always very cold. Okay, don't like the unit, those sort of things. How do you continue to bridge the rapport with the clients?
Okay.
What like questions that you ask, you continue the discussion and all?
To build the rapport, you cannot leave a gap in between days. Because you every day because it depends on how much during the 30 minutes you detect how genuine the buyer. For this case, I detect it's quite genuine, about 70%. So I decided myself to put more time on them. So every day I think out of new things to message them, I find excuses to give them information. Okay. So I will how about this proposed project A and B? and ask them questions, because it depends. Some buyers are actually very cold and they don't like to talk to you even or reply you. That one, I think you don't have a choice. You got to find some other topics. But if buyers which are engaging you already, so you have to tell them, why not I do a calculation for you. Okay, if you unable to get financial information from them over WhatsApp, which most likely 50%, 60% of the case you can actually simulate what's wrong with assuming that you earn this amount, assuming that you do that. You can still do a template. You can still send to them so that they can gauge where they are comparing to the assumption. So if you think that this client owns 10,000, paycheck is 10,000 a month, you can simulate a 10,000 TDSR with 3 credit cards, okay, with a car loan of 1,005. Nothing wrong with that. So that they at least has a reference point. So these are things that you do slowly to sieve out information from the customer. So I hope I answer your question, Billy.
So I'm hearing that you are trying to tell us, if you qualify the buyer and feel that this is a very genuine case, you will continue to engage them as much as you can, probably daily, to bring up discussion topics so that the rapport will be stronger. Am I right to say?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Jimmy, there's also another question. When you do a follow-up, is there a particular timing that you follow up with them?
No, other than sleeping hours, I think I don't have a particular, as and when because when the idea came to my mind, if I don't write it down, it'll be gone. So I rather follow up on the spot. So I don't have a particular timing unless the client actually tell me not to contact them. Like certain older generation, they do not want any messages after 10 p.m. That kind of course, this one is quite logical. So other than that, no. As and when I will just prompt them. Of course, you don't break your messages into same content, you break into 10 and then send them 10 and spam them. Of course not. So you try to consolidate and then bring value. And no super long messages in WhatsApp because people cannot take it on. So you go straight to the point. In WhatsApp, you have to go straight to the point because there's no facial expressions.
Okay, bro, one ultimate question. Just now, I think you mentioned a bit. Because you take risks to tell your customer about, you mentioned about commission. Okay, as we know, it might be a double-edged sword. They might ask you how much commission you are getting for every project from then on. Okay, despite knowing the risk, why do you still take the approach to gain authority and tell them about commission? You want to highlight a bit more on this? Because there's two.
Okay, I actually didn't tell them exactly how much commission the developer is paying. I'm actually telling them if I'm actually recommending you a project that suits you better, okay, even though another project is I'm going to earn a little bit more from that project.
But the question...
That's the difference. I didn't see the question. What's the question?
You never tell them, but what if they ask you? What will you say?
Okay, I will actually say I quite standard one. Because if they ask me exactly how much commission is actually it depends on the developer, 1 to 2%. That's my standard answer. Then of course there are some developers that pay higher.
So that's your answer, 1 to 2%.
Yeah.
Just brush away.
Brush it through and try not to get on it. Because if you have to change the subject quick.
Okay. But you still think it is necessary to highlight that actually I don't earn as much. I recommend this project to you because this will help you gain your authority.
Correct. Which is, I think, is very important because I think this risk is worth taking because out of 5 times I took the risk, right? I think 5 times work out.
Okay, it works for you.
Yeah, so it works for me. So you have to try, you have to suit your own way. So it works for me. So I'm sharing this is how I did it. So I go ahead and took the risk.
Okay, great. Go on.
Okay, so so there are buyers who actually a little bit worried about buying new launch or not ready to buy new launch. So for this case, how actually I convinced, they came to see my resale, right? So I convinced how they convinced the new launch. So actually, Zach has came out a very good bite-sized PDF to actually illustrate new launches and resale comparison. I think offline, Zach, we can share this to them later. So I think a lot of buyers' worry is they are not sure whether they can afford And even though they know they can afford, they are not sure the exact figures. So financial affordability assessment and BUC payment schedule is very, very important, which is also specifically inside the property calculators inside our IRA app. So these are the things when you meet them, or you can send them soft copy. When you meet them, you put in exact figures to them. So when people see the exact figures, their pay, everything after you give authority and trust, they will give you their pay, their commitment, their debts. So when there's no reason you are not comfortable when you see the exact figures of what you are, your financial status today. So that actually help them convince themselves that they actually can afford a new launch.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think this also another question that a lot of people want to know. So I will answer what did I actually do on that day that result in the deal closure at the show gallery itself. So always partner a tagger. That's what I do. So so everybody got their own favorite tagger. So always brief your tagger. That's number one. Okay, what to brief the tagger? Okay, what I do is I always tell them the tagger of the client's profile, first thing. Okay, second thing is why are they buying and what are they looking at? Is it the schools or is it about homestays or investments? All this you need to tell the tagger so the tagger will sing the same song as you. So my tagger and I for this particular case was 我们的默契 quite good. So he will always be talking about the product specification. Then I will come in on in a while to actually look to tackle the angle of the emotional. It means when you stay here, wow, family, this and that, the emotional part, the feel part. So we partner each other on this case. So second thing is, which I will elaborate later in another slide, is called exploring possibilities. So a lot of them, they came with a lot of uncertainty, whether they can buy or whether they can buy and sell later or what happened to their current properties. So you got to be very familiar with a few options at hand, like reissuance or options, paying schemes, which I have a separate slide later to share with you. Okay. And the third thing is actually acting in the best interest of the client. Okay, you got to show, I put a bracket, show. It's not that you act, but they do not know that you're acting in interest of them. So you got to show at the show flat on that day, you are actually helping them going inside DD's developers office, coming in and out to help them to negotiate for discounts and all this. Okay, and you got to actually propose to the client a few units. Why? I mean, agree with the tagger because you already come in with knowing that the client is going to buy a 3-bedder, a 4-bedder, a 2-bedder. So you got to propose a few units and the pro and cons of certain units. Okay, so these are the things you got to do. Okay, so I'll quickly move on to case studies too. Those things that I've covered, I will not cover again. So case study 2 is a little bit different, also Jscape. So how I get this buyer was actually was a colleague among my Facebook friend, which I last met him more than 10 years ago. So what actually happened was because I position myself in social media, right? So I post this and that, he will actually like my post and say congratulations or whatever you do. So actually make an effort to connect with them. So I will show you a few of my Facebook message trails with all this client so that you know exactly how I do it. So you may want to reword into your own way, or you can use a snippet of what I did. You may want to take a photo of the messages here. So first, how I connect is very interesting. I will always look at who actually like my posts, who comment on my posts. Okay, and look out for those people that are non-agents and people that long lost friend is suddenly, our friend here is actually looking at what I post. So you don't have to worry about whether it's a congratulation post of that. You just thank them. Trust me, today onwards, you go and send this message to all the people that are not agents. You go and thank them for the frequent engagement. Doesn't matter whether it's frequent or not. So it's the way I just I told them. So I go and thank them. So you see, they will always have, they will reply 50% will reply. Okay, 30%, maybe 20% don't have Facebook Messenger and then drop down in the deep blue sea one. So they will reply. Okay. And then the second technique I use is, you look at this circle that I use. Okay, he actually replied me, he says singing everything. So what did I reply? I quickly get this opportunity, you see. to feel them connected. So wow, I was at Jscape. Actually, does it matter whether I was at Jscape earlier? Doesn't matter. Who can prove? So actually, I go here and just reply, I was at Jscape. So it's actually connecting. You connect with them. Actually, this guy actually, wow, on and off is at Jscape really. So I took a bet lah. So actually, he's interested in Jscape. He has. So in this case, he was actually eyeing Jscape for a while. So I took a bet that it pays off. So the third thing, although it's not related to this, I'm going to share is don't look, 不要小看 the Facebook birthday notification every morning. Yeah. Okay, go through the notification. Okay, if you want to prospect buyers, you have to reach out to them. No buyers will think that, oh, Billy is my real estate agent. I want to buy something. I'll go and ask Billy. They are called very unlikely lah. But if Billy has dropped me a happy birthday message, a very high chance I want to buy, then I'll straight away, since Billy talked to me, I must ask him a question, which happens in this case. Okay, because of my social media positioning previously, you see, 他自己送上门, you see, yeah man, want to ask you tips to buy house. Yeah, I say, wholesale, then we fix an appointment. I didn't ask you that I want to help you on buy a house, but you come and look for me. Ask me this question. So these are the things, small little things that you do, which I think will work. You don't believe me, you go and try. Okay, it may not work for the first one lah. The first thing that I thank now, engagement, you know how much I thank now? More than 200 messages I sent out for the past probably 8 months before I reach this stage. So it's not overnight one, but if it does happen when you know, then I congratulate you. Okay, so you want to take I take a break for those who take a screenshot of this, which I think is quite important. Yeah, Zach?
I also learned that, so every day you will go into your WhatsApp and Facebook and tell people you are at Park Esta, you are at Jadescape, you are at Orchard Road. I think that's a good idea. Good idea.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Correct. You don't talk to them, I'm a property agent, no point. You just have to tell them that you thank them, you sincerely appreciate. The word is sincerely, because when if very high chance people will reply you.
Okay, so just leave all these things online, just more important engagement and be in connection with all these people that you have not met for years. Correct.
Okay, one thing I want to highlight, the happy birthday notification. Don't go to other people's wall. Like for example, today, Billy birthday, then you go to Billy wall and then happy birthday, Billy. And you know that Billy will receive another 200 happy birthday. I don't think he know who you are if you ever posted that. He'll just and then thank everybody in one message. Quite standard. So if you do a personalized WhatsApp or a personalized Facebook Messenger, if you don't have the number, that will make you stand out a little bit more. Of course, you can do even more drastic stuff, that call him, call the fella or what if you know. Okay, so this is also allow your message to stand out, which is very important. Okay, I'll move on to the next one. It's actually Treasures at Tampines, case study 3. So actually this one was a referral from a friend, which is actually completely cold one, this lead. Okay, so cold leads are super cold one. When you meet them first face to face for the first time, the only thing that I did was the 3 L's, listen, listen, and listen. So I sat there for 3 hours listening to her, okay, to her needs, and then give her the time. Actually, initially, I didn't know that I go there, I will close her within 24 hours. So I just sat there and listen and listen and listen. So the next thing I detected, so you must open up your ears. I detected like buying signals from her. She was able to tell me project names of like Park Esta, Treasures, Woodley Residence, and give me certain level of details. That was quite curious. Then I will ask them, how come you know all this? She says she actually been looking at some agents' website. She's actually a Chinese national. So that, you know, in WeChat, they have all these sites or whatever you call it. So something like websites in WeChat. They allow them to get information, which is set up by other agents. So I was thinking, but I asked her, she has not been viewing the show flats from those agents at all. And she told me she has been staying up for 3 years. For the past 3 years, she was in Singapore. So this is actually a sign of pent-up demand, really. So actually, the draw of actually going to the show flat, the fact that ability, she didn't know that because she was like a bit worried. She's actually not a very well-to-do person, but her savings is quite substantial enough for her to buy a 1 million, 1.2 million property already with about 100 over K inside the bank. So she was a bit like worried that, I don't have enough, I'm not ready yet. Why I need to go show flat? I make a fool out of myself. So I reassure her that actually it's not about whether you are ready or not ready. It's about you will never buy on the first time you see ma. So you must actually go to the show flat to understand first. So this case I tackle it from different angle. Okay. I want to make her comfortable to actually go show flat to see. So the show flat wow factor was already there inbuilt in the show flat. So I actually try to connect with her and get her to see the show flat.
Okay.
Okay. So what I did for this case is actually I explained to her, because she was actually pretty new in buying property in Singapore, never. So everything I have to go step by step with her in those 3 hours, buying BUC, financial abilities, and let her know that actually she can buy now already. She told me initially she told me she's going to buy 1 year later because when she's more ready. I say, there's actually this thing called reissuance. Then she was surprised, I can buy now and then I don't want to pay the 15% later, just pay 5%. I say, yes, you can. And I'll explain to her, I sit down and explain to her on this, and she eventually was convinced that and went down the show flat with me, and then the rest was history already. We went out to, first was Woodley. She actually give me a check on Woodley already. Then after the night, she do a conference call with the dad, and the dad say Woodley is too small, the price of a little bit high. So she proposed to me Treasures herself. Now, initially, I proposed Treasures. She said too far. Then after that, she said she want to see Treasures and Park and Star. So I bring her to Treasures and close her there before going to Park and Star.
Did you say you close her there, then you bring her to Park and Star?
No, before going to Park and Star. That means I cancel the Park and Star trip.
Oh, okay. But you actually received a Woodley check.
Yes, but somehow that night, the show flight is about to close, so it was a blessing. So actually the OTP wasn't issued that night. So I kept the check together with my co-broker from SRI.
I got a question. You see, when we always teach our agent about this buying signal, okay, I of course I see that you mentioned a few there, but do you have other buying signals that you can share with the viewers here? That they should listen and detect all these buying signals. What kind of other buying signals that possibly a potential buyer would have? Okay, at least we know they are ready to give a check and go into buying.
Number one, I would think, tough question, other than those mentioned there. Number one is I think they can actually tell you they have this amount of money in the bank.
They share
Cash.
their answers, they don't mind.
So to me, it's a buying signal because, okay, and then the other buying signal is they don't have a current property today and they're ready to buy. Oh, that's the best buying signal I love.
First timer.
Yeah. Okay, very easy. That means don't have to worry about shift house, don't have to worry about CPF coming in, don't have to worry about this and that. Okay, and then you can get the lowest ABSD if applicable, if not, no ABSD.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this. Yes, Billy.
Can I ask something? Okay.
Yeah.
In the scale of 1 to 5, right? 5 being aggressive, very pushy. Okay, 1 is the slow boiler. In fact, I myself, when I manage my client, I'm a those slow boiler kind of thing, slowly build rapport, continue the journey, and all that thing. How aggressive are you to push for the closing?
Okay. Good question, Billy. My skill, to answer this question, I used to be a slow boiler by you. Then a lot of deals fly away. So to answer your question, is my skill actually shift? Before I shift into 3 phases. Before I actually, when I first get to know the prospect very cold at time, I would think my skill is probably 3 to 4. not very pushy that. Because once I gain confidence and build more rapport, I will slowly increase my skill. So when I'm in the show flat, my skill is probably about 7 to 8. I'll never go 9 to 10 because to me, I'm not the aggressive type. Okay, I've ever let people out of the show flat even though they are buying one. Also happened before. So I'm not the 9 to 10. So I actually range from 4 to 8 at different stages. But once you, like a lot of seniors always show to us, okay, whenever you go to the show flat, your mindset must be correct. You must be there for closure. You're not there to do calculation. You're not there to do product presentation.
Agree.
Yeah. So it's actually, we have to change our mindset. You go to show flat is actually to reconfirm what you have recommended to your customer. You must remember this. Is to go there to reconfirm. You not go there to do tour guide. Sad to say. Okay, easier said. But of course, walk-in is different. Okay. But those you have a chance to actually prepare a customer beforehand. You have to bring them out to Starbucks. Of course, now circuit breaker cannot go there on Zoom, prepare them, understand them, or do a calculation properly. Then you go to there, lesser question for you, lesser objections for you. Okay. So I think the next slide is the most important slide in my own opinion. So a lot of people doesn't know how to close the customer at the show flat itself. So I'm going to share what I consolidate a few. May not be very comprehensive, but it's going to give you some tips that you can lock the customer because most of the customer, they are not top 3 objections always like that. Okay, HDB now I'm Mobila, need to sell my current property. My funds are not really in China, Indonesia, in India, whatever country, in Sentosa or whatever. Okay, so a lot of, there are 4 things I'm going to share. I think the first 2 things might be very familiar with you guys, so I don't have to explain this. For new agents, you may not know what is reissue option. So developer allow you to pay a deposit of probably 5%, and you can delay, you can keep reissuing options all the way until the funds are ready. Okay, anywhere between 6 to 12 months. Some developer even more than 12 months. I'm not sure, but this is subject to developer approval. So I put a caveat there. Okay. Second thing is this is more likely to happen to completed projects. Okay, I put a bracket there says pricing will differ because different payment scheme, the interest rate behind is different. So definitely the price that they put up. This is a very particular good example. It's actually 8 installments completed project. So they have a stay and pay scheme whereby you can put 1 first and then 19 during exercise and then defer the 80% 1.5 years later, about 1 to 1.5 years later. Okay, another one is they also give reservation scheme where you can pay upfront high option fee 10% and defer the rest to 1 year later. Okay, the next 2 are less common, which throughout my days in the project, I realized, actually can do one. Last time I don't know can do one. So you know that when you go project, you have to pay 5%, right? When you offer during option stage. Actually, it's 5%. If the customer tell you, excuse, hey, I don't have 5%, how buy bonus in 1 month time? Cannot. Can. Okay, I've seen projects. Actually, you give me 2% first, 3% within 3 weeks, you give me, can. So that 2 advantage, you lock them on the spot, and then you lock the unit for them. Like just keep so hot selling every month, average 50 to 60 over units sold. So this is one of the way delay 5% option fee that you can lock the unit. So-called like lock the unit, developer lock the unit because you give the check. May not be 5% yet, but we don't issue the option. Okay, you give me 3%, then after that 2 weeks later, you give me another 2%. These are very good for customer, especially also overseas clients that they only have the 3%, the other 2% need the daddy and the mommy to fund them overseas. Okay, you don't wait until then.
Sorry, can you just say it again? Which are the projects that you know can have this delay 5% option?
So far, I know Jscape can.
What
so
else?
this particular, Billy, you want to share? He has more experience than me. I don't know of any others.
Okay. Honestly speaking,
case by case.
Okay. Honestly speaking, from the experience of Mr. Gwen, I noticed that a lot of time, if you are able to pay upfront the 1.25%, okay, and delay 3.75, a lot of developers are okay to accept that arrangement. So I mean, sometimes before we close the gate to closing a deal, so just put it up to the dagger or the IC, because really sometimes they are able to convince the developer to accept the offer for you. Okay. Honestly speaking, quite a number of projects are able to accept that.
I believe a sound developer during this kind of situation now will actually agree to this. It's actually a genuine buy. What you can see, people willing to give you a check. It's actually a genuine buyer. I don't think they can't afford to. The reason why I wanted you guys to know about this is actually you lock them in on the day itself, rather than you let them go back, okay, get the daddy money for another 2%, 3%. After they change their mind, they don't want to buy, or they go with another agent, and that's it. Okay, the last one was actually particularly a scheme which I understand that can be done in treasures. Maybe Kevin Chen is here, he may want to share. I mean, is actually delay 15% exercise fees. Okay, you can actually lock them in by encouraging them to exercise. Certain developers, a lot, not all, but treasures I think can. They prefer, in fact, the developers at Treasure prefer this scenario over reissuance, because reissuance is no guarantee they will exercise. But if you delay the exercise fee and they exercise, by paying the BSD and the ABSD if applicable, the higher chance of them committing, they really commit, in fact, is higher. So these are the ways you can lock them down.
Can they delay this exercise fee?
Case by case. I understand from the project I see it depends. So for treasures, I proposed 9 months, but I didn't use this. I used reissue option. So you can always discuss with the relevant project ICs. I believe if they detected a very genuine buyer, they can propose to a developer. We will never know whether developer will accept or not until you propose. Developer is like that. You don't give me a check and give me a condition. I cannot tell you whether I will accept. You ask me, no use. You give me a check and give me the condition. Just like how I buy car last year. I give you a check and this is the price I want. And this is the condition I want. Either you accept, if not, I walk away.
Okay, just allow me to share a little bit more about that. Usually, in my opinion, right, if you can negotiate for the delay 15% exercise fee, do try to also put up interest-free for the progressive payment. Correct. So
yes, good point.
Projects are okay to do that. I mean, in my opinion, it also saves the trouble on the buyer, on the agent, because when you do reissue, there are a lot of administrative arrangement. So if developer are comfortable to do the 15% delay exercise fee, do look in option first, then consider the reissue. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Billy. So as I mentioned, I put a caveat below. These are all subjected to approval and changes by developer from time to time. Go and check with your respective EDs and ICs before sharing with clients. Okay.
And
so far, any question?
There's one question, but it's not about the reissue by Joachim. He asked Jimmy, do you have prospect of buyers who are worried about the market due to COVID-19 now? Okay, in the first 3 months when you met them, assuming if they ask you this question, actually, how will you handle it? Do you have any?
Okay, in fact, I recently shared on my Facebook posting. I got a buyer that actually asked me, how, Jimmy? Quite bad, because there was a recent, I think, couple of weeks back, the news from, I can't remember which media, that the property market actually dropped 0. or 1.2% or something like that. So I told them, what happened to the stock market? The stock market dropped 30%. Okay, 30+% in the space of maybe 1.5 months, and property only dropped 1.2% in 1 quarter compared to the stock market. So actually, property are more stable, if you ask me. So it's actually less. The liquidity is not as of course as fast as the equities but actually it's a very stable form of investment. You don't have to worry about the interim small little fluctuations. So and also some of the things that which I can share from Alex sharing recently was, you see, the government has previously put in place a lot of cooling measures to prevent a bubble in our real estate industry. So these things like ESR, SSD, all these are preventing preventing people from doing a MAT or what you call it, fire sale or some kind of things happening like what we see in the previous crisis in 2028. 2008 and 2009 timings. So very unlikely. In fact, if I'm not wrong, today or yesterday was another article by HPOL or 99, I can't remember, that it's very unlikely to see a fire sale. Okay, there will be drop, yes, gradual drop in the market, but not a huge drop. So it's actually very good. So that's how I actually tell them that to calm down their worries.
And okay. Just want to share what Richard shared in the chat group. Okay, most Roxy and Oxley project, you can pay the 15% without interest. Okay, without interest. Because every time when we delay the exercise period, by right, developer charge a 6 to 7% interest rate on the duration that you delay. But Oxley, Roxy, and few other developers, they can do it without interest rate. Okay, so you must go and do your homework and ask the taggers and DDs when you propose such project. Okay, the taggers and DDs normally will not tell you upfront unless you go and tell them you got this situation. Yeah,
okay. Agree.
Customers don't want to pay. So it's good that you come for training and listen to more project briefing. Okay.
Okay.
You continue.
Yeah, I got one more slide. Okay. It's actually, I took this famous line from Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. They are actually the CEO and the co-CEO. I mean, the deputy of Berkshire Hathaway. So what they say was this. Okay, I replaced their word business with property lah. Okay, so I think it's actually applicable both ways. So you have to ask yourself this question: will you purchase a great property at a fair value, or a fair property at a great value? So what it means that it's better to own a great property at a fair value, but not rock down fire sale value. Okay, rather than you get a fair property at a great discount. So actually the growth potential of Warren Buffett, is a value investor, Charlie Munger. So actually what they're trying to tell you is actually that you should focus on the growth of the real estate rather than the short-term so-called cheap sale or fire sale that you can get. So I always remind myself this, and I always use this to tell my buyer that you should actually look at the growth in the future. Okay, so this is probably my last slide already. So for that, just want to thank Zach, okay, for this opportunity. And what Zach has mentioned earlier also, let's embrace digital, man. Probably this will be the way moving forward after circuit breaker. You never know.
Okay, guys, why not we, first and foremost, let's give Jimmy a big round of applause. Can we just clap in the chat group? Okay. I would like to take some Q&A. Okay, so you have got option. If you would like to speak, then you just type in the chat group. Okay, that you want to ask a question. You can unmute.
Yeah, I see a lot of questions.
Yeah, or you can type in the question. Okay. Come, any question from anybody that you would like to hear from Jimmy?
Shall I stop share? Or you can see I'm looking at the chat group, is it? Yeah, okay.
You can go to your original page or the first page. Okay, DDs, you can unmute yourself as well and ask question if you want. Billy, any question for Jimmy?
Not really a question, but I would just like to sum up my own reflection. Is it okay, Jimmy?
Sure.
Of course.
Okay, I'm very motivated by seeing the two things that you've done very right. First thing first is your personal branding. You does a lot of personal branding. I mean, I follow you in Facebook. We have our own chat for makan, although we haven't go out for makan yet. Okay. So I see that you're very active in branding yourself in social media. All right. That in my opinion is very important for the new age property advisor. Okay. Second thing I see very strongly is your showmanship. okay, how you position yourself to be always on the buyer's interest, what you do in the show floor, how do you approach the closing, all those sort of things. I think these are very valuable lessons that I learned from what you did. Okay, so my little reflection on the whole sharing. Thank you, Jimmy.
Hey, thanks, Billy. I'm so humble.
Okay, any question, Didis? Yes, the video will be uploaded. Okay, I will most probably put into YouTube, but under a private mode. Okay, so whoever has got the link, I will send into the chat group, can use the link and go and see this video again. I will put it inside YouTube.
Jimmy, a question for you. I always see that
Hey, Janice.
Yeah, I always see that you are very helpful over at Facebook, and yeah, thanks for some of your those good training that you intro to me. But I think just a question. I think from Facebook, social media. Do you how do you handle? Let's say, example, I believe that, of course, there are a positive side that you get connected with some of the prospect. Then, is there anyone that some of them that they connect you? Then, as a lady, sometimes I do have some of those questions. Very funny. So, how do you approach those?
I don't quite get your question, Janice.
That means some of the private MSN, they may look
Oh, okay, understand. Scammy lah.
then
Okay.
you will just have this question mark. Is this a true prospect or
Okay, easy. I'm gonna answer that question. Okay, I am also a victim of scam messages. So when I receive scam messages, there are three things in common. They will always ask me one. They want to know my mobile number. Correct. So you have to reverse. Now you are actually talking to somebody. So that somebody also worried that you are a fake account, fake Jimmy's account, and wanted to ask. So you will never go and ask for their phone number. In fact, you give your own phone number to them before you ask. So this one a way that I eliminate the scamming thing. And then I will, you see, when I know, for example, if I now talk to person A, I will have some memories of how I know this person A 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 5 years ago. Correct? If I can say those memories out, then I'm not scammy already, right? Correct? So these are the way that I reassure them this me lah.
So you mean that those connections that you got from Facebook are maybe your friends or your friends' friends? What any cold leads, that real cold leads that you can get connected? Because I also follow that you're posting. Some of the posting are quite interesting, like your house renovation. Then your cat, all this. Yeah.
Yeah, this okay. Always you see, I learned something from brand via social media from someone else that I know. So what he was sharing with me that in order to get more people to engage with you, you shouldn't be posting. You should be standing on their point of view. Okay. Because I know that we like to share projects, we like to share new launches, we like to share our achievements. Not that we cannot share, but that shouldn't be more than 50% of your social media posts. Because every day if you tell people that you won this award, you win that award, this project and that project, sooner or later you will realize that your like level of the agent increase, but your like level of your circle of influence, their non-agents will drop. Okay, so but the agents are not your audience that you wanted to engage with, unless you want to do recruitment, is different. Okay, so you should be, people are capable and they want to know what you're doing behind the scenes. They want to know that what's your life. You got a cat, you got a house, you are also a human being, you also renovate house, right? You also have fishes at home, you also have this and this. So when you need to post something that's not related to property so that to make them engage you. So that when they engage you, then you can use my method to thank them for the engagement and the whole conversation will start. So they will always find a reason to engage them. So you must plan. It means you must reverse engineer. No, end of the day, what you want to do? You want to engage them over social media, right? So you must post something that will make them engage. So you test lah. Different people is different. Maybe food is something that you can try, but nowadays a lot of food are also a bit sian. Every day, if not food, then it's exercise. So you have to try out different things. So I believe there must be something that your hobbies, something in your house that you can actually post to get people to engage with you over social media. So you got to try. It's also the way you write your content and you copyright your content.
So another question is, do you go and add people as friends that you don't know, or to actually fill out your data, or you wait for
no. Okay, Facebook got this add friend limit. If you anyhow add, they will actually block. Not say block, they will stop you from adding for a while. That's why I noticed, because I do add friends there. Okay, so I don't do that now. Okay, sometimes they will add me. Sometimes if I find that they are a common friend, maybe I want to add and get in touch. I have not reached the stage where I add a stranger and then start talking to a stranger. That one is another different level of mastery already.
Okay, thank you.
Billy, any question, Billy?
No, I'm great. Okay, I need to go to attend my CPD also. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Billy.
Thank you, Billy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Jimmy, one last question before we end the whole meeting, okay? The situation of COVID-19 now, we needed more content. I just want to ask, do you have any commitment? What are you going to do for the next remaining COVID-19 situation when you are at home? Okay, what kind of content you are going to create more that we will all see on your social media?
Wow, very high risk question to answer.
I want to commit here, ma.
Okay. So actually, I'm actually in the midst of tidying up one of my small little rooms. So end of days, I wanted to record some educational content for the customers.
Okay.
And just post it on YouTube channel, post it on my social media and share.
Video?
So yeah, video.
All video, okay.
Yeah.
So how
so
soon
I think,
will we see it?
sorry?
How
Wow.
soon are we going to see your video?
Probably 1.5 weeks time. I'm planning one already actually. Yeah.
Okay. Looking forward to see your video.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else to share, Jimmy?
No. I hope my content is useful to everybody. I actually appreciate all those that make an effort to come online. So.
Okay, guys. Before we end this meeting, okay, I just want to give some review and feedback to Jimmy. Okay, so if you enjoy the conversation, you enjoy this business conference. Okay, from 1 to 10. Okay, 1 being good. The business conference, whatever the content Jimmy share is good. Okay, you type in 0 or 1. Okay, if it is above average, you type in 5, 6, thereabout. If this meeting is superb, okay, excellent, you type in number 10. Okay, can you type in the chat group now? At least we show Jimmy. Wow, see? Jimmy, you can see.
Wow. Yeah. I'm opening the chat.
Okay, so if you get
Thank you, guys.
other feedbacks, you can PM me directly. You can PM Jimmy. If not, my suggestion to you is, okay, everybody go to Jimmy's Facebook. Okay, we help one another scale up our business. Okay, write whatever you have learned. Okay, be it 3 sentence, 4 sentence. Okay, post it inside Jimmy's Facebook. Okay, everybody later go and tee him up. Is that okay, Jimmy?
Of course. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, with that, thank you very much. I hope to see you again very soon. Okay, I also want to give you my commitment. I'm going to bring the video marketing training to you very, very soon. Okay, since everybody is at home, I'm going to teach all of you to how you can edit videos and do up your own videos at home. Okay, so for those who have not seen our recent videos that I did with Jimmy and Priscilla, okay, take this opportunity after we end the meeting. Go to my Facebook page called Huang ERA. Go and like my page. Go and see the 2 videos. Okay. In fact, today I interviewed one more of our salesperson. Tomorrow I'm going to interview one more. Okay. I'm going to get all the top achievers, leaders to come in and share it on social media with all of you all. Okay. So thank you very much. Go to Zack Huang ERA, go and like the video, share the video. Okay, I see you soon. 谢谢. Thank you.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye.
See you later, PG Daily.
See you.